So yeah, when you guys get that wine in, I think you guys can have some fun with that one. And lastly, before I let you go, I know I've taken enough of your time already. We're going to try another one that, honestly, we were just going to do by the glass options, but I asked Kevin, and he was kind enough to agree to show you guys a couple of bottle options that you guys have. I believe you just brought in like 6 of each of them to start, but again, I would love to see you guys move some of this, both the Rombauer Chardonnay that we tried a few minutes ago, and then this is a really cool Zinfandel from Rombauer. So this is the last one we're going to try. I put it at the end because we talked about residual sugar and richness and power behind a wine. This is probably, of all the reds, even more so than that Cabernet, has more juiciness and almost, again, I wouldn't call it sweet, but it has a lot more fruitiness to it that I think is just a good wine to finish the tasting with, and I think you'll see why once you try it. This is, again, a very appeasable, like easy sale, like appeasable wine to the nth degree. So much so that I know you guys don't sell a lot of these foods, but like when I make at home, I have a smoker at home, a Kamado Joe that I spend every weekend, almost any day that I can, smoking on it, grilling on it, whatever, and I can tell you, anytime I do barbecue, whether I do brisket or pulled pork, smoked pork butt, or dino ribs or regular pork ribs, any of those things, this is a classic pairing to any kind of barbecue. I mean, Zinfandel from California that has big, bold, rich, jammy, juicy, red and black fruit flavors go really well with any of that. So I'm thinking even just off the top of my head, I don't know if it's still on your menu or not, but last time I had lunch here, you guys had a new bolognese sauce pasta that I loved. I ate and could have had about 3 more of them, but I had to stop myself. That would go really well with this. Really, any red sauced dish is going to go well with this. This goes well with burgers. This goes well with just an array of things, or even just people sitting on the patio wanting to enjoy a glass of red wine, quite honestly. Again, this is by the bottle, not by the glass. However, it's not going to be expensive by any means on your bottle list. Again, I don't know for sure, but I would assume, again, it's going to be in that 60, 70, 80 range, somewhere in there. So sub $100 and a great deal for you to be able to sell. So I'll wait till it gets around, then I would love to hear your thoughts of what you think about this wine.
I would even pair this with chocolate packages.
Yeah, it can go with desserts as well, definitely. Again, that touch of maybe sweetness or that fruitiness on the back end would definitely go well with desserts. It's got like a brambly, blackberry, brambleberry kind of a thing going on. Definitely, again, vanilla, vanillin. Again, it's one of those that people that like Zinfandel usually, like, again, it's kind of like Cabernet. A lot of people in Texas love Zin, red Zin that is, not white Zin. I'm not talking about that. But classic, true red Zinfandel, this is a classic example. Not only that, this is cool because the Rombauer family, again, being so well known in Napa Valley and so historical, been around, again, 41 years, they have a lot of long-term relationships with growers who are making some of the oldest, or growing some of the oldest Zinfandel vines in the country, not only in California, but in the country. So this actually wine is unique in that they used to call it Napa Valley Zinfandel. If you notice, this is actually just California Zinfandel. They do that on purpose. They knew that taking Napa off the label might, in the consumer's eyes, make them think, oh, it's not as expensive because it's not Napa Valley. Maybe. But the reason why they did it is because by labeling it Napa Valley, they couldn't put a lot of their oldest vines that come from like the central part of California, some of the vines that go back to 140, 150 years old, they couldn't include in that when it was labeled Napa Valley. And they're like, screw it, we're not using our best Zin vines. Let's call it California, and we can use any of our vines that we own and farm. So that's why they made it California, and thus they were able to use even older, more rich, seductive kind of vines, okay? So that's what you get here, seductive. That's what I like saying. No, usually in this case, there might be some Syrah or Petite Syrah. I honestly don't remember on this vintage because this is the new vintage. I'll have to check in on that. Yeah, I would assume it's not, but it could be. That's the thing. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, similar to Cabernet like we talked about earlier, Zinfandel, you can blend in Syrah, Petite Syrah, Malbec even, whatever, but it's going to be predominantly, usually 90, 95 plus Zinfandel. Any thoughts on this? What do you guys think of this? You can see people pounding this, right? Outside, outside, inside, wherever. Exactly. You can do really well with this, I think. Well, that's all I've got for you guys. Any other questions before I get out of your hair and let you get on to some whiskey and scotch and everything else? Yes. Yes, Zinfandel's the grape, like Pinot Noir, Cabernet, Chardonnay. It's the grape itself, yep. And one of the oldest grapes actually in California. It's people for a long time thought it was native to the USA. Actually, they found it's more like Croatia where it came from. But yes, it's one of the oldest grapes in California. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then it balances out, definitely. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts or questions, guys? All right, well, thanks for your time. Those of you who know me know that I'm around a lot, so if you have any other questions or anything comes up later, certainly just holler at me, let me know, or ask Ben and Kevin. They've got my number, so I can help you out in whatever way possible. But enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for hanging out and tasting some wine.